there's an idea that's been talked about in recent years called emotional labor. And this is to deal with retail jobs, customer service facing jobs. And the idea is that it is mentally and emotionally and even physically exhausting to fake happiness, to fake emotion, which makes sense. For anyone who has been in a job that requires that, putting on a pretend smile all day is very hard. It's very hard to suppress your authentic emotions and to put on the work persona. Having experienced that myself, it is detrimental to your mental and emotional well-being. I had a job that I had to suppress my thoughts and emotions a lot in a very stressful work environment. And I took a pay cut, and I wasn't making a lot of money, so I mean, it wasn't like, oh, we'll simplify it. Like, oh, this will be a challenge. But for my own mental, emotional well-being and my family and marriage and whatever, I had to take a pay cut, and it was absolutely worth it. Being slightly more stressed about bills was 1,000 times better than waking up and feeling just terrible dread of, oh no, I have to go to work today, and I would rather do anything else. Anything. It makes a big difference not having to do that. And the witnesses are aware of this, because if you've been a pioneer, one of the things they talk about fairly frequently is burnout. That's what Pioneer School talks about. I have never been to Pioneer School. I never pioneered. But I know from family and friends that were pioneers that they talk about that. And they even talked about it informally with each other. We're like, oh, you gotta make sure that you do this so that you don't burn out. They have the talks by elders about how to maintain your joy. And I realized part of the reason why being a witness is so difficult is that you have to do that all the time. You have to do emotional labor anytime that you are around another witness or in public, and even when you're alone, if you're hiding from yourself. There was the broadcast, I forget if it was last month or the month before, so early 2021 broadcast, that basically Sam Hurd, old Sammy, said that you need to be happy at the doors. Maybe the reason why you're not having success in the ministry is you don't look happy. They open the door and you're a grouch. So you gotta be happy. You gotta be happy all the time. You gotta be happy because Jehovah's happy people. And guess what? You can't order someone to be happy. It doesn't work that way. You can't just click, oh, I'm happy now. Otherwise, we wouldn't have antidepressants and therapy. Have you tried not being depressed? That never occurred to me. It solves. It's solved. I'm not depressed anymore. I just realized I could choose to be happy. Doesn't work that way. Apparently, Sam Hurd doesn't know that. And the witnesses don't know that because they order you. You have to be happy, or you're doing something wrong. If you're sad, you should feel even more sad because Jehovah's not blessing you with happiness, which must mean that you're not doing enough. Shame on you. That's what's written between the lines. And that white space, you have to look very carefully, but you'll see it written there in between the text. But that's what witnesses have to do all the time. That thing that is a strain in customer service facing jobs has to be performed all the time. When you go to the meetings, happy face, pretend, happy face. The circuit overseer is coming, bigger, happier face. Get those little cables behind your ear and hoist that smile up real high. When you are out in service, you have to pretend to be happy. Maybe you're with people that you can let your guard down a little bit with, but you have to pretend to be happy with your car group, and you definitely have to pretend to be happy at the door. Hello, good morning, your garden is so beautiful. Would you like a watchtower? No, all right, you have a good day too, sir, who's yelling at me. Have a good day. You get back to the car. You kind of relax a little bit. But I never the emotional labor aspect of the thing kind of dawned on me the other night when I was thinking about that. That is part of why it is so draining being a witness, because they're wrong in this, but they'll say it's not that much. How much is it to go to the meetings and go out in service on the weekends? It's not asking that much. I mean, it is. If you do the math, it is. 2 meetings now, but used to be 3. 2 meetings now, so those are 2 nights gone. You have to study beforehand for both of those, so that's 4 nights, maybe. You have to do family worship, so that's 5 nights. And you have to go in service, so that's a day. And that doesn't count personal study or whatever else you've got to do. So basically all of your free time is being taken up. We'll pretend that that's not true, and that it isn't physically difficult and time consuming to be a witness and meet the minimum standards. Let's say it's not hard. Emotionally, that is hard though. That's why so many people are exhausted and are like, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. And they'd be like, but why? What's so hard about this? Okay, going to 2 meetings a week and going out in service once a month is not that hard if it wasn't being a witness. What is hard is sitting there and saying, yes, these crazy things I'm being told about why the blood had to be applied to the right toe of the priest and how that foreshadowed something in the early first century Christians, or how the overlapping generations make sense because it just does, or 1919. You're hearing these things and you're going to be like, yeah, okay, yep, that definitely makes sense to me. It definitely does. I'm not just nodding along. And also, I'm smiling and I'm happy about it. I am happy to be here on a Sunday morning at 8. I had to go out in service on Saturday morning, and now Sunday morning I had to wake up at 6 to get the family ready, to get to the meeting on time. I'm very happy to be here. It's a beautiful day, but I'm happy. Oh, I'm happy to be here on a Thursday night at 10 p.m. and the kids are overtired and they didn't do their homework yet, and I had a long day at work and I still have to drive 40 minutes home, but I'm happy to be here. Oh. You're not happy to be any of those things, but you have to pretend, because everyone else is pretending. So you look around and you think, I must be the only person faking it. All of these people say that they're happy and they look happy. Why would they be lying? It's a giant prisoner's dilemma. But why would they be lying? I must be the only one. Pretend, big smiles, don't think about it, go home and drink a lot of wine to help you get to sleep. It makes sense why there's such, at least I need to remember that my experience is not universal. In the U.S., in the congregations that I have been in, a lot of drinking goes on. A decent amount of drinking. Not all of them, not all the witnesses I know being alcoholics, but several of them, 100%, definitely alcoholics. And no, not just like me assuming it, like, oh yeah, they drink a lot. They really can't, not have the bottle. But that's why. Because it's exhausting. You're drained and you're tired, and you don't want to think about it, and you're sad. You can't acknowledge that you're sad, so you get a little liquid fortification, a little liquid courage for another day. But yes, when the witnesses say, oh, why, how hard is it? It's very hard. It's very, very hard to have fake emotional affect 100% of the time. That you're not alone. And even then, like I said, you're probably not wanting to acknowledge that you're not happy, because you should be. So what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be the happiest people, the happiest life, and you're doing everything right, and yet I'm still fucking miserable. What's wrong with me? Although, this is my personal story. Yes, that's what it felt like. And that's like a minimum baseline of being a witness. Again, it doesn't say anything about if you're a woman, if you're a person of color, if you're LGBTQ+, or all of those, which would be the worst. You drew all of the short straws. Oh, it sucks so bad. It sucks terribly, but then also to be like, I'm not gay, even though I have no interest in women. I'm definitely not gay, right? So many people suppressing that. They're like, how do you do it? How do you do it? We'll have to talk about NPGs, as it was called in the New England area, and somewhat in the South, non-practicing gays. The fuel that Bethel runs on. There's definitely several people where everyone's like, he is definitely gay, right? We all can see it. Does he know? He doesn't seem to know. These were all witnesses, believing witnesses. Me as a believing witness, we're like, well, he's definitely gay, right? Like, I hope he knows. You think he knows? He doesn't seem to know. That's gotta be exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. And that's why we were miserable all the time. Because you are, among all of the other things that are bad about it, all of the negative things you hear, but the thin candy shell on the M&M of being a witness is your fake happy persona. And that by itself, regardless of everything else, the cost, the time, the hateful things you have to listen to depending on your gender, sexuality, ethnicity, whatever. Disregarding all of that, just the fake emotional affect is detrimental to your happiness and your mental well-being. And then we throw all that other stuff on the pile, or stuff it inside the candy shell, if we're going to stick with our metaphor. Absolutely miserable. Just the worst. I guess I know the witnesses are not the worst cult. I know that. NXIVM and Scientology, definitely worse. We only got beaten by our parents. We didn't get, ritually abused by the leadership. There may be child abuse, but that's due to ridiculous negligence and not, church policy of abusing. So, it could be worse, but it's pretty darn bad. It's much nicer being out. This is not a fake smile. I am having a pretty good day. I'm having a really good day. That is a fantastic Jeep. Whoa. That was cool. They had a really bright pink LED light bar and, wheel well lights. Pretty cool. Not my taste, but I'm glad that it exists. That was cool. Things have been going pretty well, though. Not perfect. Nothing's perfect. And never has been, because there's no such thing as perfection. That's nonsense. There are no such thing as platonic ideals. They do not exist. So just be happy with being you. It's nice to be able to say that. It's very nice to be able to accept that you have flaws, and that everyone does. It's just inherent. It's nice to be able to say, I'm not happy. I wish that this was different. It's nice to be able to do that. It's very nice. It should be it should be normal, but being a witness, it is not. It's very nice being out. If you are still a believing witness, What are you waiting for? Come on out here. The least convincing argument, but boy, it's exhausting. Just like the scripture where Jesus says to lay down your burdens and whatever. That's literally what it is. The sheer irony that the witnesses do the exact opposite. That leaving the witnesses is, I thought of that verse. And I was like, oh my God, this feels excellent, because it's literally what it feels like. It feels like you've just been carrying this giant boulder and you didn't even realize it. You didn't realize that you had all of this unnecessary weight. When you set it down, you go, and everything is so much easier and lighter, and you didn't realize how much that weight hurt you. Just leave the cult. You have no idea. You've never not had that boulder on you. You don't know what it's like to just be normal. Your baseline is way down here. It's being crushed by that giant boulder. The giant candy boulder. Because we're going to tie our metaphors back together. Put down that big hateful M&M. Put your baseline up here. You don't need to carry that big heavy candy. This metaphor is going off the rails. All right, well, that's it. This is a little overly long. I don't know. No calls for engagement, because that feels chilly today. I just appreciate you being here. I genuinely do. That is not a trick to get you to do anything for me. Do as the instincts that have evolved through the process of natural selection, do as those instincts inspire you to do. As the spirit moves you. The spirit of Charles Darwin, or whatever. It's a good day. I hope that you are having a good day. I hope that, whoa, that was a bold choice, sir. I don't believe that was a legal driving maneuver. I hope they're having a good day too, because that was a little risky. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that things are looking up. A pandemic is getting under control. That's fantastic. I am double vaccinated. I got both shots, so cool. It feels good. Things are good. Things are cool. Let's get out there and make the world a little bit better. Or no pressure on you. You don't have to do anything. Just go out and chill. Just go out and vibe and have a nice day. No pressure on you. All things, you gotta take some time for yourself. You're worth it. You're worth it. Anyway, I will stop rambling, and I will let you go. You go enjoy your day. Take a little break from your screen time. Go enjoy your day and just enjoy. All right, I'm gonna go. I will see you next time.